I find that young people prefer to know that, they have a piece of the pie. It may not be the biggest piece, but it's an important piece.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
The following is an excerpt from the Brain Gain Youngstown Leadership Series. The new podcast features conversations with local leaders who are focused on building a culture of entrepreneurship and promoting workforce development.
Any advice on how to have them accept accountability and things that they can do to maybe own smaller pieces of a larger project? What would you advise them to do?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the millennial generation is given a bum rap, that they aren't interested in accountability as much or even working hard. And I frankly don't find that. I mean, I do think there's a little different attitude about things like teleworking or taking time off, and maybe the work ethic is a little different. But I think, frankly, that those young people that I work with who come through my office, we have a lot of interns that come through every year. I just had our breakfast yesterday with our internship class. Finally, we got interns back. I'm so glad we're beyond the worst of the COVID. But I think accountability is something that they actually look forward to because they want to be responsible for something. Again, as long as they're not set up to fail, they have to have the skill set and the knowledge and the help to be able to be successful. But I find that young people prefer to know that, they have a piece of the pie. It may not be the biggest piece, but it's an important piece. Every, part of our little office that we have here is critical. I often, at our staff retreats and so on, talk about the people who answer the phones. And a lot of those people are young people. Some are interns, in fact, and we get a lot of phone calls. We also get a lot of emails and some letters still. But I'd say that's the most important job in the office. So we have much more senior people. We have a relatively senior staff, actually, with regard to our legislative front. We do a lot of legislating. We're very active in that. And that may be what we're known for by others. But really, the constituent service and the frontline people, these young people, I want to hold them up, partly because that's our first job, is to represent people and to do so effectively, but partly because they're tough jobs. And you want to be sure they understand that their job is really important. I walked into the Capitol yesterday, and I had a person with me, and I went through the security line, and the officer kindly said, let's get you through, Senator. And I said, listen, I appreciate the job that you do, and kind of saying, I'll go through the security like everybody else. He said, well, you have a more important job than I do, so we got to get you through here. I said, no, I actually don't. I said, you have a more important job. And that, I'm getting choked up here, but that attitude of saying, everybody matters, and the police officer that's there at the Capitol, protecting us and having to put up with a lot of people who don't want to go through the security line or don't want to, hassle with the new requirements that are in place. That's a tough job and a really important job. And for that officer to say to me, you have a more important job, I want to make sure that he also understands, in this case, it was a guy, that his job is really important too. And in some respects, much more important.
The interview you just watched is an excerpt from the Brain Gain Youngstown Leadership Series. The new podcast features conversations with local leaders who are focused on building a culture of entrepreneurship and promoting workforce development. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for notifications. And also make sure to connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. For all of your business news, visit BusinessJournalDaily.com. For all of your arts and entertainment news, go to AfterHoursYoungstown.com.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
I like a bank that's a pillar in my community.
I like a bank so cutting edge, they have a lab branch.
We are so alike.
Well, we do both bank at Farmers National Bank.
Farmers.
Stand strong.